Hello, welcome to Max 9 tutorial number 12, the big secret, and I am always so excited to present this, possibly my favorite video, to you, our deserving viewers, soon to be teachers, soon to be experts, soon to be thieves. Well, why would that be? The big secret. Last week, I'm just going to, I'm just going to stay in Max here. I'm just going to open an untitled patcher here. And just very quickly mention, last tutorial, we went through the tutorial on tutorials. And that is a great way to get help in Max, to learn how Max works. Now we do something a little bit different in that we just rip everything off. We steal it. We ransack Max, essentially. And I'm going to show you how to do it. The very curious thing is that the makers of Max, they want you to do this. They made the whole thing like a candy store for you. So let's get to it and figure out how to do this. And of course, I have my secret background program for you working here. So also I need to make an announcement in the middle of this tutorial, but we'll get to that. So let's go ahead and type the letter N, as we often do, and type MIDI, M-I-D-I, I-N-F-O, MIDI info, and fill a pop-up menu with MIDI device names. Well, that's great. Now, if we had learned what to do, we would know what to do now. What sort of things trigger MIDI info and what object should be under here. But we don't know any of that. We're just how do we know? So we could look it all up and we could have that expertise, and someday we will. But before that, why don't we just try this, which is hold the Option or alternate key down. I think for a PC, this is the Control key. But you click on here and you get Help, the MIDI info help file, Max Help, right? And you look on here. I'm just trying to stop myself from having to wander around too much here. And you learn what it is that MIDI info can do. Well, MIDI info essentially detects all the channels, if I dare call them that, they're sometimes called buses, of MIDI that are available to use on your computer. But what you have to do is either click the number 1 or a bang, and it will tell you what the output devices are. Similarly, if you want to know what the controllers are, otherwise known as the input devices, create a menu of controllers, you click a message that says controllers. I want to know what the controllers are. And you do that. So both of these MIDI infos then fill up our old friend, the U menu that we were using in our timers, as you may recall if you're in my class. And if you're not, let's just call this a U menu. But now the U menu is filled with all of the MIDI output devices that you might have. Now, I may have more than you because I do a fair bit of work with MIDI, and someday I'll show you how to create these, but not today. Mostly what you're concerned with is that you can see your MIDI synthesizer. In a Mac, that is an Audio Units DLS synthesizer, I think, unless the new Silicon Macs have something else, but I believe they have the same one. And if you're on a PC, I believe it'll be a GS wavetable synthesizer. Not sure about that. I don't own a PC. Okay, and then for fun, we can look over here and see what controllers are around. And, oh, network new. I misspelled it. I was making a network MIDI device the other day. And I have all of these virtual drivers that are common on a Mac, not so common on a PC, and also the ones that go to Macs naturally, which I tend not to use because they're limited. Okay, anyway, I don't want to get distracted there, but I do want to get distracted here because now I am going to stop for a minute and say, if you're not finding anything here, just pause the video right now, go down to the information below it, and you'll see a link for loopMIDI by Tobias Eriksson. It's a free program that works well to create virtual MIDI on your PC. Macintosh users will not need this. Virtual MIDI is installed on your machine, so if it's not working for you, you've just got to go turn it on. And you can Google how to do that if it's usually just on. But in the rare event that it's not, I think that's something that you could probably figure out. Okay. I just don't want to get bogged down here. Maybe I'll put a note in there, how to turn on your MIDI if it's not already on. But in any case, once you actually have something here, and if you've just installed loopMIDI or turned your MIDI on, you'll have to rescan the MIDI, which you do by either clicking the one or clicking the controllers, and then it rescans for more MIDI info, and then you find out what's out there. Okay, I've been going on about this quite a bit, but here we are still in the help file. And what is it that I mean to show you about the help file? Well, what I mean to show you is how the help file is, are you ready? It's a patcher. Yes, it is. Look, there is the lock. There's presentation mode. Oh my God. And you know what that means. Or maybe you don't yet. It means you can unlock it. And that means you can copy it. Uh-huh. Are you starting to see the light here? So I'm dragging over these just for the output devices, and I'm going to copy them. And then I'm going to close my MIDI window. My help window. Now, if it asks whether you want to save the changes, say no. Definitely say no. Do you really want to rewrite your help files? No, you don't. So when you steal like a gentle person, and do not rewrite your own help files. Okay? Here, I'll show you. I'll move something. Okay? And then I'll try to close it. And it'll say, save changes? No, don't save changes, okay? Just remember that. Thanks. So don't save, and it'll put your help file away. Now, we paste our ill-gotten gains into our window, and there it is, and we put it neatly up here, and we get rid of the old one because we don't need it. What the heck? And then we lock our patcher and make sure it works. There it is. It says, oh, all those things. There's the synthesizer, etc. Now we can pick them. That's great. But what do we do with it? Well, let's stop for a moment and say that ransacking and pillaging from the help file is easy and great, and you realize then that you can do it for any other object. You're like, well, I want to know about Note Out, right? So you can option click on that, and you'll get the help file. It's like, oh, I want a piano keyboard. I want this. I want that. Let's just avoid that for a moment. I'm always so tempted. Okay, we're just going to ignore that for a moment, okay? And I wanted to go back to something we were working with yesterday and remind you of another way that you can ransack Macs. You may recall the other day we were working with the multi-slider. And where did we get it? I will refresh your memory. We came up to the help file, and we said user guide, and here was our user guide, and we found that we could get to where we wanted to go one way or t'other, but the easiest way to get there was to come down to where it says tutorials and say working with Max. And we click on that. Lo and behold, it goes to the Max tutorials. Do you all remember this now? We downloaded the series assets, which is really what you want to do right now. But then, and because we're not going to go through the tutorial again, but then we were looking at the one for data viewing and remembering what number it was. So what we're really looking for is this 01 data viewing max patch. You've downloaded the series. Actually, you already did that the other day if you're in my class, and you have put it in your Max folder, right? Okay, well, we come over here to, there's the downloads, blah, blah, blah. I clicked them open and I dragged them over here to my Max 9 folder. Here's the Max tutorials. No, not data scaling. We wanted data viewing. And then we go ahead and open it. And that's all the use that we have for this today. We're going to get that out of the way. But, so this is from our Max tutorial. And guess what we know about this? Yes, it is. It is also a patcher. So we can unlock that. We can say, hey, I really enjoyed this machine here that makes random notes, sort of seems to sing along here. I'm trying not to get multi-slider included. See, I'm just going on the outside there. I'm taking all of these. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go over to Max, hello, and click in here and paste. Now, it pastes it right over the other stuff. That will be very complicated if you click anywhere. So don't click anywhere, click on something and just drag right away, and you'll get them all. Nice. So there it is. And I will point out to you now that this no doubt is very similar to this no doubt. So that probably means that we can make this midiinfo complete with uMenu and triggering device. We can steal this cable and drag it over here to be on no doubt in the same way. And I'm going to command Y this to clean it up a little bit, because you guys know me. I like a tidy patcher. Okay, so we get rid of that. So now, actually, I have one more thing to tell you. I'll show you right now. I'm going to lock my patcher. I'm going to click on this to make sure that it's got the newest output devices. I'm going to send this to my synthesizer. Now, I didn't stop to really look at this the other day, but when this thing started, I was like, see, it says set 64, and that tells it where to start its drunk walk. The drunk is like it hits random numbers, but it does them within, in this case, 12 steps of the previous number. However, I noticed that as many times as you click it, these just move around. And that is telling me that this second argument here is not working. It's going from 127 to 0, and with nothing in between. So it's not understanding -12. So this must be a glitch in Max 9. So I will report it to them. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is get rid of the negative there. Keep a space in between those two numbers, and now you'll see how much better this works. See, there is a reason that you have an instructor in this class. I know it hadn't been obvious until now, but there it is. So now when we hit this, it starts somewhere in the middle. It tells the drunk object, start somewhere in the middle and wander up and down with a maximum range of 127 and only ever go a maximum of 12 steps. So now we'll see that it does. It does that, and I think the reason they use drunk is because it tends to wander up and down. It's a little like it's kind of jarring if you have notes like this, right? It sort of freaks you out. But we could make them that big if we wanted to, but they chose not to. So you'll see when I keep hitting this, it keeps coming up with something that's sort of wavy, right? And then we turn this on, and right? So this is running through here, prepends fetch, so it's fetching in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And sending it out, does a make note, and that sends it through the note out. And this thing is selecting the note out. So just like that, bam, you have like a working device here, and one that you can change randomly. Or, you know, you can just come in here and edit yourself. If you like some low notes in there, some high notes. See, it's a little more jarring if you have them going up and down like that, but at least we demonstrate. So, nice. I'm a good writer. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. So that is how to steal both from the help files, which is Option or Control click on a PC, and you get the help file. You can steal from that, or you can go right to the stuff that you use for the tutorials, unlock them, and steal anything you want. So from me to you, patch well, thieve well, enjoy your music, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.